Gotta hold that shot. New shirt.
Ooh. Ooh.
Only problem is that front arm makes that back arm look small. Hi, guys. All right, we got Form Check Friday, rocking and rolling. We're going to jump on over to the Titan crew to get that taken care of. So this is some of the stuff we were talking about yesterday that we wanted to get back to today as you guys get ready for your check-ins tomorrow. One was the cardio. Again, at this stage, we still got some weeks here. Let's not put the cardio in the first thing in the morning before training. I'd rather you still really give that training the must attention that it needs, and utilizing the calories that you are on, even if it's minimal calories that you're on, for the best workout you can, because cardio is such a simple thing to do, and you can really do it with very little calorie intake, even on fasting days, if that's something that you're going to be doing. That being said, I did get a lot of questions about, can they split up the cardio, do half before training, half after training? Again, you need glycogen, would be the ultimate goal for your workouts. Now, when your body sleeps and recovers, it also builds up. And so that's also a great utilization for that workout. You don't need glycogen for cardio. It's actually better if you can burn off that glycogen during the workout. So when you do get on cardio, you're right into the fat burning zone. Right, Serge?
Correct.
They teach you that in the basic 101 training manual. 100%. It does not make sense to get up, have your meal, go in and jump on cardio. Now you're just burning off the food that you just ate, and you're not doing what you want to do. So minimize that. Anything you want to add to that? On time, boy?
Forget your waist trainers.
Waist trainers, lotion up. Definitely do the lotion, guys. I know that you guys see a lot of pros do it, the lotions and stuff like that. And maybe you guys believe that that's something. Do the creams really help? Do that? We've already established that they 100% help. Do the belts help? Does it give more heat to that area? Does that suck up more water? Does that get you leaner? On my beliefs, it does, and the studies show it does. So again, this is coming down to you and what you're willing to do. Make sure you make those little changes that help us out tremendously. All right, food. We talked about this a couple weeks back, and I know some of you Titans paid attention to this. Calorie-rich food, dense food. What is that? What are we talking? So like, I'm off season and I'm eating this, man, I got the Greek yogurt, I got the whole milk, I got the oils going in, which is great. And then I saw somebody say, hey, well, I saw Mike was doing whole milk, so I got whole milk in my diet.
Yeah, me too. Oh, nice. I'm gonna add that too. Yeah.
Remember, I'm on power bodybuilding. So it's a different program. And right now I'm trying to get that metabolism fired up so much by utilizing 6,000 calories, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Printed 6K. Out. 6K. I know. So I have room to have some incredible dense food there. The steaks, the good fats, the avocados and all that kind of stuff. And I can mix in the whole milk. I wouldn't do the same if I was, say, 6 weeks out from stage, because at that point, I'm probably in a deficit. I'm probably getting just a certain amount of carbohydrates to really last through the day. I'd probably minimize the fats at that point. I wouldn't.
You got wiggle room.
Yeah, there's no. What would I be gaining for me? The fats in there instead of some kind of protein to build muscle and some kind of carbohydrates for energy. So, well, people, I guess I think today's day and age, and correct me if I'm wrong, Serge, they're going to go, well, fats are good. And if you use fats, you can use that for energy. We've already established this, guys. That was a fad diet that came in and went out really freaking quick. You're not going to find an elite. And remember, we're always going to the most elite. Because if you could train like the Phil Heaths or the Jay Cutlers, that's where I would like you to train. And that's how I'd like you to do your nutrition.
I think that has to be said more.
To go to the elites?
Well, because that's what you are. And so that's the mindset that there is. We're going to do everything in the most optimal way, the best way. We're going to get the best results.
I think I just realized what you said too. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought this was given.
Right.
I don't look at you as the CPA guy.
Exactly.
If that's your job. I don't look at you as if you're the police officer. I look at you as a person that should be training just as hard and hard on your nutrition as Mr. Olympia. That's how I look at you.
But there are more people that are unlike you that are saying, hey, yeah, you can have those extra fats. Oh, you can have those extra avocados. You can do this. I can hold your hand the whole way. There's more people saying that.
Yeah.
Which is the comforting, misguiding than reality.
That's an interesting, how do you fight against it? You can't fight against the guy that's the 100 people that are screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
And I'm over here and I'm just talking.
Mm-hmm.
That you're going to hear them more than you're going to hear me.
100%.
But at the same time, I like Elon Musk, and I'll listen to him talk about his beliefs and his ideas and how he lives life relative to the guys that, when I do lectures, there's other guys that do lectures with me, and there's guys that are there and I've known for 20, 30 years. But there's a lot of them I don't listen to, even though that these people paid thousands of dollars to come and listen to them. It's because I know them behind the curtain and I know what their real beliefs are. And I know what they were doing before compared to the guys that are just absolute geniuses. The uncommon man, to be uncommon in uncommon man, that's a huge thing. So I'm trying to find those guys. I'm trying to find those guys that are so uncommon in uncommon people. I guess my point here is this. It's really up to you, who you're listening to and stuff. At this stage, if you're dieting and you are in a deficit, I would use the foods that best serve your body at that point. I'm not saying don't do whole milk. I'm just saying maybe at this stage, we should probably hold off on it and make sure you're just getting in some kind of protein and good carbs that are really clean and can help you move through the day. Relative to you going, well, I got Greek yogurt in here and I got some avocados, which is great.
Yeah,
but at this stage, if we're that close to the show, and when I mean show, I mean whatever that show is for you, spring break, your wedding, college, your high school reunion, I don't care what it is, but that to me is your show.
Your baby shower.
Surge's baby shower. If you're doing it at that point, we really do need to fine tune what you're going to be eating at this point. So I would just keep that in mind. When we're off season, man, we have such a luxury, and that's where the Titan meal plan comes into play. It gives you such a variety that you can really enjoy it and still live your life and go out to eat with friends and have whatever those foods are that you really, really like. But if we're at this stage, if we're really down to the final 4 weeks, let's make sure that we're doing the right foods that are best for you to get you in the right position for your finishing day. Okay. Serge, are you okay with this or you disagree?
No, I agree.
Any recommendations on this?
Just follow a strict plan.
Well, yes, yeah. But I mean, a strict plan could have whole milk in it.
Exactly. So then if the plan has it, then you follow what it says.
Okay.
Not go out with just what everyone else is doing. You know?
I do know. I do. I think I do. I think
It's gotta be a structure.
I hope that helps you guys out on today's discussion, because we're going to get into this check-in tomorrow. And so when I do this check-in tomorrow, one of the biggest things I want to make sure that we do is that when I say, hey, we're at the stage where you're going to go 3 days low, 1 day high carbohydrate, and we're going to cycle this. So really just get you peeled and get rid of that lower back fat. You know how you guys get really lean and you're like, oh, I look great except for this lower back fat. I'm going to get rid of all of that from you. I want to make sure that you look just better than you did in college. You know, I don't care if you're 55 years old. I want to get you in the very best shape that you've ever been in your entire life. And so if I change up and go, hey, you got 50 grams of carbs a day, and you get 200 grams of protein a day, I wouldn't do my carbs in the sense of, I don't know, pita bread or something.
Peanut bread.
I would do more of a low glycemic oatmeal. So at least you get a little something throughout the day because it is 50 grams and it is pretty freaking low. And you would like it to sit there for a bit and give you a little bit more energy. So even those little things. And pita bread's great. And I got pita bread in my diet right now. But again, I'm not on 50 grams of carbohydrates. So it's just what can we choose at that point to make you the very, very best you possibly can. Okay. Proteins, again, if I do minimize your fat intake, that means you probably will have to go, if you're doing Piedmontese red meat, I'm okay with that, except it's very, because it is very low fat. But there probably will be a point where I just kind of remove that as well, just because of calorie density, and lower you to a white fish just those last couple of weeks. So again, let's make sure that we're using the right stuff. And when you check in, you can feel free to ask those questions. Okay, guys? So that was foods. Again, I am overriding anything that we have given you before. Okay, so if you are on a Titan meal plan and I give you a new calorie breakdown, send that over to the Titan meal plan so we can get that printed out for you, or go off of what my suggestions are at that point. Like if I'm doing, go back to a lot of you guys are now doing that carb cycling, because carb cycling is so great to get really sliced. And if you guys don't know about carb cycling, we'll go over that on Saturday and Sunday with the Titan check-ins. But carb cycling is great because of the fact that you do get that one day to boost you and kind of mentally recover, and then 3 days low or 4 days low or whatever I have you going down low. I've used it in the past. I used it for my best condition, I believe, was the 97 universe. And I did a 3 low, 1 high carb cycling. And it was incredible. But I also did an extreme salt intake as well for that one, which I think helped quite a bit. And then on top of it, I was doing ground turkey. Relative to a lot of the times I'll do tuna at that level just to get really peeled. But I found that ground turkey for that 97 with the overload of sodium really helped me slice up and come in just crisp and clean. But it was the carb cycling. And the carb cycling was just basically a half a cup of oatmeal before the workout and a half a cup after. There's my 50 grams. That was it. That was it for 3 days. And then the fourth day, I'd obviously take it up to my calorie intake, which I needed for that fourth day, but then back down. So we're going to be doing that with a lot of you guys at this point. So again, let me know if you want to do that. Let me know if you like the carb cycling or you would like to try that. Let me know if you want to try the fasting at this point that we are getting down to these last weeks. I'm okay with pulling that out. Let me know. Let me know how hard you want to push it. Because trust me, I'm going to push you as hard as I believe that you can go. And most of you I know that are mentally strong because you joined the Titan crew, that you can be able to do that and jump into that. You send over a invite to Clark.
You ready?
He may not be ready. Yeah, but see, let's see what we have here, guys. If we got any questions. Placebo. Das Vidania. Das Vidania.
Oh, we had a couple people asking about what lotion you use. So there it is.
There's the lotion. I do it twice a day. Before, when I'm really slicing down. Off season, I do it once a day. And it's great for the glutes, that glute hamstring tie-in, the lower back, and obviously the abs, full abs. I know a lot of people just do it on the lower abs. I do full abs. I'll do it also on a bit of the outer chest as well.
Oh, yeah, that's the spot.
because that thing, when the chest is, that outer line of the chest has that indent, that where the muscle just caves over and sucks underneath. It just looks incredible. And some of you guys are getting there, man. That's really what you want. You don't want the line. You don't want if it's in good shadow, you get this little shoulder shadow. I don't want that. I want that muscle so it's indented and comes underneath. That insertion. That's what I would like for you guys. So somebody asked here, what's the truth behind the statement that carbs spare muscle and prevent muscle loss? I have no idea what that means. Serge, you guys want to try that one?
Say it one more time.
Jeffrey, go for it.
What's the truth behind the statement that carbs spare muscle and prevent muscle loss?
Me and Doug just had this talk too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Sorry, sir. I do not know what that even means.
I didn't know carbs build.
So carbs is a beautiful thing because it keeps the muscle filled. But most likely you're going to be in a deficit and you're going to keep protein, and protein is going to retain that muscle because you got to feed the muscle. And that's kind of where you want. Me and Doug were talking about this as, you know, you're in a deficit, the muscle's not as full because of the fact that it's not filled with glycogen. And so,
Dry sponge.
yeah, you just, at any point you can fill up and there it is. So I actually don't know what that statement is, my friend. Sorry.
Wah, wah.
Interesting. And Bobo's on a pizza cycle.
Yeah.
Man.
I blocked Bobo
Good.
for a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Block him for ever.
I gave him a 15-minute timeout.
Ooh, okay.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Bubba's one of the lead stars guys, though.
Yeah?
Him and Mary are the lead stars.
Then why is he on the bench?
I'm rolling back up just to see if there's anything I can help you guys out with. I don't know what this means. You want to read that one?
I got one. I don't know. This guy asked about the cream earlier, and now he says, I'm talking about the one you talked about, Mike, the one that makes you sweat to reduce water in the midsection.
Okay, so and no wonder I didn't understand that.
Ooh, I don't know if you even want to talk about this one.
Go for it.
Mike, I lift heavy and max out every session, but I keep getting injured. Is there a way to lift heavy without injuring myself?
Yeah.
The answer is in the question.
Yeah. Good luck, man. Good luck, brother. Wow.
Well,
You go. You want to try this? Put it back up. Come on, Serge.
what's up?
Serge, go ahead. Go ahead. Answer
What's
this
up?
guy's question.
What's up? What's
Come on.
up? No, it's
No, put that question back up there, just so you can.
No. I was just
Come
thinking
on, no.
No.
All right, then don't do this. Don't do what me and Jeff are doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, try to help him and give him an input.
I was just thinking about how people get swayed with this whole like mentality of like you have to train as hard as you can every time. Don't leave.
But can't you train as hard as you? We just talked to Lee Priest, and he talked about doing 200-pound dumbbells for 6 to 8 reps. So can't you train hard with more reps than a single?
Oh yeah. And then I'm just saying like how motivational videos rely on like giving you that energy by saying, "Oh, hit that 1 rep. Failure. Go as hard as you can." So then people sometimes take that to heart. So maybe this guy is one of those guys that kind of like got.
Oh, see, this is why I actually love that you're here, because I wasn't raised with social media. I was raised. I was pretty blessed.
Who wasn't raised by IG?
I wasn't raised by IG. I was raised by OGs, and so for me, I saw that in a fight, a wrestling match, or if it was a tournament or a powerlifting meet, that's where I'm that 100. And I'm nasty. Yeah. I am nasty. And you'll see it in the eyes. But I understood in the gym that you never have to, and I still to this day don't understand the banter with MMA fighters when they get to each other's face and they're talking shit. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. So you want to act tough before that? It's fine with me. I don't care. And that's why I like the Saint Pierre and those guys, because they were like, I'm peaceful, man. I train smart. I know how to train, and that's why he had such a long career. And the reason why I say him is because when it came down to the day to fight, you have to have that.
Mhm.
But if you think you have to fight every day and go to failure every day, then you're just not intelligent to understand that that's not training.
That's how you fail.
I mean, we all did kind of sports. I don't care if it was soccer or whatever. You know what I mean? But as kids, but as kids we did we not?
Yeah.
And we played football. And so in practice, you're not going 100%.
That's right.
So I can't help you guys because we had Elias for a long time, and he would do that to 100%, right?
Yeah.
And we kept talking to him, going, "You got so much talent,
That's right.
but you have to be smart." And so I see your point, because I feel bad that I didn't have that social media, that I got around that, and I go. I guess for you guys, listen to Serge as you, because you're a kid, you're barely 20s, but you're not getting motivated by that. It motivates you, but it doesn't override your plan. You have a training plan. You have and you know that, cool, it motivates me, but it doesn't override it.
Yeah.
It's motivation. It's not truth.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to watch. It's get me hyped. It's like pre-workout with 500 milligrams of caffeine and all that stuff. It's gonna get you hyped, but don't let it distract you from like what's really important.
True.
I see your point though, because I'm lucky and I can't relate with that. I can't relate with going, all I see on social media is these guys training like freaks.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that means I have to train like a freak.
Yeah.
And you've got to understand that a movie's a movie. You know, it's Braveheart's not real today's life. We don't go out there and cut people's heads off. Well, you know what I mean? So it's like you guys have to dissect that and go, that's not real.
Yeah.
The guys that are training and going, I go to fatigue every time. Watch their short careers. Go watch the guys that lasted. Lee Haney. I know that's way too old school for a lot of you, but man, he's freaking Michelangelo when it comes to this stuff. He just
He's a sculptor.
train to stimulate, not annihilate. That was his quote. Train to stimulate. And I think we're going to talk about that with Clark Bartram, because his belief and my belief are a little different for longevity. But follow Serge over there on social media and watch what he's doing. And he loves these guys, C-Bomb and all these guys. And those guys' motivational videos are really motivational. I'm not saying they don't train hard, but they train hard on their plan. They don't go to fail it.
They train hard on their plan.
Yeah.
100%.
And so this guy that says, and this guy's, Kevin, I know you, man. I know you. You've been here for a while and stuff, but I don't know what the point is to go to do PRs or try for PRs each workout.
Hell no.
It honestly, to me, it makes me think that you feel insecure. Sorry,
Maybe.
but you feel like you have to go into the gym and push the most weight possible, or you're not doing anything in life. When it's not, it's the most basic stuff that gets you there. It really is.
Those PRs are going to lead you to the ER.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Put that on the internet right now. You claim that. That's your quote right there. Your PR is going to lead you to the ER.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
So stop that. Stay on the plan. Stay on a training plan. Again, I look back at this now, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of forced reps. I got lucky, and I grew up in a time where powerlifters didn't do forced reps, and so I think that's a huge thing too. But forced reps is a young man's game. I don't mind overloads and stuff like that, but again, there's no. Here's something that's happened, and I think you'll get this. There's been a mixture of powerlifting and bodybuilding by uneducated people. So you get an overload of weight, which is for powerlifting, and then you get a guy spotting you like a bodybuilder. And so the bodybuilder spot would be a moderate help, making sure you get the rep and stuff. Where a forced rep is a guy doing maybe a single, maybe a double, but it's keeping it moving to where it doesn't fucking lock up on you and snap something. And so you get the two guys. You get the guy that's going, we're bodybuilding. No, we're not. We're overloading. So it's power. Those are two different things. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
And I don't want to go into that depth because it's just basically going, you're trying to do two things. You're trying to do too much at once. How do you tell them not to do that? Too much to do, because this guy's going in to do singles.
Mhm.
And he's getting it. First of all, he's getting injured. So you already know he's doing everything wrong.
Exactly.
And he's not recovering.
So the form's obviously off too, because if it's you shouldn't be getting injured if your form is right, even on a 1 rep max.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Buddy, Kev, I want the best for you, man, but I can't teach you this. This is something you got to realize. You're getting injured.
Yeah.
So you're doing it wrong. Okay. Or your body's not made up for it. Then that's something else. I mean, are you recovering? Are you doing your nutrition? Are you getting your sleep in? Are you doing all that? There's no such plan I've ever seen that you go PRs on it. Turn it a little bit. He looks good, man. Look at that, all shaved up.
Yeah,
and everything.
right there.
Woo!
Get a little closer to the camera though. Don't let Mike out angle you like this.
I'm just sitting here, guys.
You don't know what.
I skip head day. I do the Craig Goliath shot. Hi there. All right, we're done with that one. Pull that. Let's see if we got something else here.
Boom. Get out of there.
Does that make sense though? I know that I never really even talked about this because it didn't occur to me that when somebody's lifting, they're taking a power lifter mentality on an exercise and then incorporating it into a bodybuilding type of workout. So overload, partial squat. You don't need to do 10 reps there.
No.
You're doing a partial and you're doing an overload. So you're doing 3 to 5 to the most, but then you get the guy going, oh, no, I'm going to rep this bad boy out for 20 reps. It's like, okay, now you're just taxing the body to a point where you are going to get injured.
But wouldn't a volume overload help the endurance?
What do you mean by
of the-
volume
like,
overload?
Because
Go.
if they're doing a force reps up to 20 reps, let's say, they're forcing.
Who does 20 reps?
Well, I'm just saying, like, we're
Hypothetically. Okay. So a guy's going to do 20 reps.
20 reps forced. So, like,
What do you mean by
maybe
forced?
The last 10 are forced. Someone's there pushing through the last 10. Is there no muscular endurance that gets developed within those last forced 10 that could also translate into strength?
No, you're 20 reps, so you're not doing strength. That's athletic training, and you're trying to build up your white blood cells. So you're trying to just do stamina work. And also, I just don't. Hypothetically, that rep range of being forced for 10 reps. If you're getting a couple more reps out of something, I think a couple reps throughout the year add up 10 times more than a guy getting one workout with 10 extra reps.
And that's how most people think they get strong.
Yes.
Most people think you get strong by doing more than you could yesterday or the day after, which has truth to it. But when you break it down and think about how do you get strong, what are strength reps?
I think if you're trying to get one workout to where that one workout is the best workout and it puts you over the top, that's the mentality that I think you get hurt on. Where if you listen to Ed Cohen talk about, if I can do 3 cycles of powerlifting in a year and get a little better each time, that's huge. Even if it's 5 pounds, by the end of the year, it's 15 pounds.
Yep.
By 3 years, it's 50 pounds. And so your squat went from 600 to 650, which is huge. And I think when you're in the workout, you're in the fight, that's a tough thing to you. You got to go, you putting your hands on my elbows and making me 10 more reps. The plus of that isn't, I don't see it. And I never saw it through my years of training and seeing people in gyms throughout my career, I never saw those guys, which I've seen those guys. I've seen those guys throughout my entire career, and they were elite athletes for a moment, but I never saw them finish the race or get out of the sport healthy. So it's a tough thing. Look at my birthday squats. I do it once a year.
Yeah.
If
What's up?
everything okay?
That's sick.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah. Bobo came in the Facebook chat and threw in 5,000 stars, and he's like, I'm back.
That's been 15 minutes?
Yeah, it's been 15 minutes.
It's been
It's a little-
Bobo,
That's right.
Bobo, jump on a plane tonight.
Yeah,
Get
Bobo.
out here.
Don't tell me to
Let's-
shut my mouth again.
Let's deep fry some catfish.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Here's a good one. This is a great one, actually.
I do think I'm not going to say no to your 10 rep. Everything he just said, there is a aspect, and I do agree with this, and Heath and I talked about this. There is an aspect of the guy that once in a while does that, and in a safe way, and gets in the fight because they become mentally stronger. So that aspect, if you could take it away, then you're golden. But if you go in and you do that and you get injured or an owie, and then you go back in a week later and do it again and get an owie,
Ooh.
and then there's a point where you're going, okay, now you're just running your head against the wall and you're an idiot.
There should be after the first time, there should be a moment of realization. Maybe it shouldn't be continuously doing this.
Because I can't say no to that stuff because everything you talk about, the extra 10, that was me. He saw the videos of me as a teenager.
Yeah, saw the other.
My brother grabbed onto that thing and he was deadlifting that stuff off. And I'd go, keep going, keep going, keep going. So
puke bucket.
I didn't see, because it was me, there was Chris Cormier, there was Gerard Dente, there's all these other guys that you guys probably know about, but they made better gains than me. But I was stronger than all of them. There's nobody. And it's most pro bodybuilders today, or the guys that were in the time. I was stronger at 15 and 16 than these guys were ever in their entire career. But it didn't make the muscularity the same as these guys had. It just made me mentally strong. It made me, my body maybe strong in a sense to, because I didn't hurt myself. But
you were able to take that mental fortitude that you developed and contain it.
chill.
And contain it and utilize it when needed.
It's a tough thing to do.
That's very
It's
tough.
a tough
and
thing to, I ain't saying it's easy, guys.
No, and that's what separates people from successful and unsuccessful.
Can you outwork somebody? You can?
Yeah.
Tell me who you can outwork.
Most beginners in the gym. Like,
Oh, shit.
if I would do anything, like pick a specific person, like I have to know how hard they're
You
working.
can't
to know-
outwork anybody.
Who said?
You.
Why not?
You will understand this one day. You can't. Because it's not a competition. It's a competition between how well your body can recover.
Yeah.
You can't outwork anybody. I thought I could outwork everybody. And even though these guys were going, it's about you recovering. It's about how strong you get. It doesn't matter that you can out squat all these guys. Your legs aren't as good as theirs. It's because you're not recovering, you're not growing, you're not stimulating in the right way to develop the legs plus the strength. And so I know what you mean by I could whip Heath Evans' ass in the gym.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm going to get, better body.
Yeah.
But it's really a tough thing because that's not a young kid thing.
it's anyone that has a competitive
Believes.
attitude is someone that believes they can outwork someone, because that's kind of like what you channel in to push yourself further. So it's like if you compete or in any sport and you don't have the mentality of wanting to outwork
Yeah, my bad.
you know,
I am talking about bodybuilding, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me make this clear, because when it comes to wrestling or anything, 100%. When you talk about athletics, of course you can, and you have to. I am talking about bodybuilding. Sorry, and bodybuilding in the sense of fat droppage, muscle development, and building strength. That is all I'm talking about. So for you wrestlers out there that grind head, of course you can outwork the other guys, and you have to.
for bodybuilding, it's more strategy then, sense because it's not. The fact isn't to outwork someone. Is how can I do something better than someone else? So it's like if this guy is doing 3 hour on a cardio just to get a little leaner, well, what if I can get leaner without having to throw myself for 3 hours in the cardio? So it's like
It's funny
a smart
because
strategy.
we grew up thinking or being called bodybuilders are dumb or powerlifters are dumb. They're actually bright as the good ones are really freaking bright.
That's what I was saying. But
They're-
by separating the successful versus the unsuccessful, those are the ones that can contain it and then use it to guide themselves through it.
Controlled aggression.
Yeah.
Controlled aggression and being smart enough to know. And so again, great job having this diversity of ages here, so you guys can, I'm not gonna bash social media because I think social media is incredible and I think is a great thing, and you can see exercise and you can see the good ones doing things and it gets you motivated. Listen, I watch tons of Marcus Aurelius and Peterson and these guys talk and stuff and their mindsets, and so that stuff I love. But at the end of the day, I am talking about bodybuilding, recovering, burning fat. And it's gonna, again, it's not for the one time, but it's for the lifetime. Like Jeffrey said,
We're just dropping.
we just put all this on there right now.
Yeah.
We got all the quotes done.
Very poetic today.
What do we got here?
I got one. All right. Boom. This one's for Serge.
Sergi,
I mean, Mike. Do you believe a diet can go on for too long? Can the calories go so uncomfortably low that one needs to reverse diet? Do you believe in reverse diets to stimulate metabolism?
well, this is kind of elementary. Everybody knows, Serge, you want to take this first?
Just like the other one was
Ooh.
elementary.
There is such thing as a diet going for too long if it is like, let's say I gotta make this as simple as possible, so people don't really understand as fast. So like, if you're cutting for too long, then obviously you're damaging the body. So a diet that's in a deficit for too long can definitely be bad for the body, correct? But then when someone dies down, this is like, everyone has seen this whenever you see like those TV shows where those people were on, what was it, The Biggest Loser or whatever, and then they lost incredible amount of weight in like 6 to 8 weeks. But then you check on their Instagrams a year later and they're probably double the size.
Why did Biggest Loser go off the air?
Well, because it was only a temporary transformation. No one that was on that show was taught how to continue the lifestyle they were living because the diet they had was not maintainable.
So let's do this. Your question is very elementary. Everybody knows that if you do go deficit, your body will shut down within time. That's why training for a show is usually like a 10 to 12 week, 14 week to the most kind of duration. Your second part to this. So just know that your body shuts down if you're in a deficit for too long. You know this, or you should know this. This is basic stuff, guys, for 101 weight training. Second part was uncomfortable or low. We know that. Do you believe in reverse dieting to stimulate metabolic? I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, that part a little weird.
So you're stating things that you're just putting a whole bunch of stuff. You're putting a whole bunch of stuff into a discussion. That's really what you're doing here, and so it's just doesn't make sense. 1 second here. Hey, we sent you an invite when you're ready on email.
Okay.
All right. Put some clothes on.
Okay.
I think any diet
So
stimulate your metabolism.
So when you are in a deficit, your body shuts down. When you add food to it, it makes it work again. And if it's working, that's getting the metabolism going. Now, a reverse diet is something different. A reverse diet is basically you're basically saying you're doing a ladder of putting in calories over a period of time as you reverse back out. So you don't go from I'm in a deficit eating 500 calories a day, and then you go, okay, I'm gonna jump out of here and get my body working. I'm gonna eat 5,000 calories a day. Well, it doesn't work that. A reverse goes from 500 to 750 to 1,000 to 1,500 and builds back up. But you throw a whole bunch of stuff in there. I recommend for you, Chris, is to get a trainer because these kind of questions about like deficits and your body shutting down or coming back up is pretty basic stuff. You might be really, really young. Follow some people like Clark Bartram, like Serge, and really understand nutrition is by priority the number one thing next to mindset. We're gonna keep Serge on here, and we're gonna bring on my brother.
Ooh.
And he put some clothes on. Thank you. I don't need Bobo getting too excited. Man.
I got an urge for Serge. Look at that.
All day long. We're getting quotes all day. We're getting quotes all day. I love that. Now, Clark, we had a talk earlier, and this is great because you're in your 50s. I remember the 50s. In 1930s, that's when I was about in my 50s. But with that being said, we were talking about rep range, but we're not talking about rep range, I don't think, for the pinnacle bodybuilder, if I'm correct. But we're talking about rep range to be healthy for a lifetime and for longevity. So could you go into that? Is that kind of what we were discussing?
Yeah, it was what we were discussing, because the question that I get now that I'm over the age of 50, closer to 60 than I am 50, is what do you do now that you're older? Specifically as it relates to how much weight I lift and how many reps I do. So let's go back to the beginning of time.
Can I stop you for a sec? Because it sounds like they're saying, hey, what do you do now because you're old?
That's exactly what they're saying.
So I'm offended.
I'm offended. I get offended all the time, and I'm overwhelmed by the fact that. So let me go back.
I just want to make sure that I was clear on that, because that was a very offensive. Hey, Mister, you got crutches to get up in the morning. How you doing today? So what do you do different now that you're broken?
Yeah. So here's what I've been observing throughout. Like, I literally every single day, like you, wake up and work with people, and it's a privilege, it's a gift, it's something that I am grateful for. However, with that being said, I am overwhelmed sometimes by the conditioned thought processes that we in our Western culture specifically have as it relates to age. Did everybody get that statement that I just made?
One more time, please. One more time.
We live in a culture in our Western society where we have been conditioned to believe by other people who think on a low level that age is something that should limit you from being everything that you can be and living life to the fullest. And the amount of times that people say, well, now that I'm over 50, like something happened in one day.
No, stop. They don't say over 50. These guys say over 30. Well, now that I'm 35, I got bad knees, bad shoulder, bad back. It's not.
We don't need to even go outside this bubble of conversation right now, because there's so much in that by itself. But your initial question was, set rep range. And what I was going to talk about is, I want to ask the question, whoever came up with this blanket statement of 3 sets of 10. Everybody bought into this theory of 3 sets of 10. So if somebody who is like an entry-level trainer is asked what somebody should do, they'll say, oh yeah, do 3 sets of 10 of this. We just bought into this belief no differently than people buy into the belief that because they're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, or even 80, that they can do certain things. Let's go to Robbie Robinson for a second. At 70, how old's Robbie?
70. I thought he was 78.
106.
Mid 70s.
90.
Yeah, so closer to 80 than he is 70, just like I'm closer to 60 than I am 50. More ripped than 99.9% of the people who lived on planet Earth. But Clark, he was an Olympian, or an Olympic, Mr. Olympia guy, and pumping iron, and a legend. Yeah, but look, now we go to this discussion of genetic potential and epigenetics. So there's so much that goes into this that people aren't willing to be honest about with themselves. And that's really what it comes down to. So with this concept of 3 sets of 10, what I do personally, and all I can speak for is what I do personally. And
that's not true. That's not true. You get people in shape, so you can actually speak about how you've helped others get in shape. So I got to stop you there because you're gonna shortchange yourself here. We were just talking about Biggest Loser and the setup for that, and that was something that you and I both went out for, and you actually got down to the final casting for this stuff. The great thing about this is we know that. I mean, we'll talk about it a different time, but you know how rep range works, programs work. You can put together a program for somebody and get them in shape.
Yes, for sure. And it happens every day again. And that's where I feel privileged because we wake up daily to people saying, wow. Matter of fact, I talked to someone that you worked with yesterday, and he was just singing your praises. Like, man, I would check in with Mike, and Mike would get on me for this, and then and I said, you understand why he's getting on you? He's getting on you because he wants the best for you. He wants you to get these results. So that's the biggest thing that we do, is help people get beyond their limiting belief. So with the question of reps and sets, we have also bought into this belief that 8 to 12 repetitions is the hypertrophy zone. Well, is it? Is it? I don't know. I really can't honestly answer that because I think the genetic potential that we all have as humans hasn't really yet been explored to the level it could be explored to. Even with someone.
Let me give you a scenario then before you go further. Let's say hypothetically that rep range of 8 to 12 is the best, protein well, I can't even say it. Breakdown. That's the best place for it. You're going to get the best for it. And if you do time under tension and you slow it down, maybe it's 6, but it's at least that span. Let's say we agree with them. Let's say that is the most prime real estate, and that will get you body to the very best for that moment, for that show. Okay. Now, with that being said, is it still the rep range that you would stay with for a lifetime?
No.
Why is that?
So if we're talking,
pay attention, people, pay attention right now.
So if we're talking in fitness terms, right, there's something that we use in the industry called periodization, right? There are periods of time in our life that we need to do different things for different outcomes, different goals, different parts of our life that we're moving through and experiencing. So that in and of itself is something that everybody in the industry would agree upon. Yes, you have to train differently for different things. So if you were training me for a bodybuilding contest, you would have me on a certain rep range to begin with on the first 2 weeks. Then midway through the program, you would switch it up based upon my check-in and the feedback that you're getting from me as to where I'm at, what's going on, and you being the good coach that you are, would listen to me and go, wait a minute, just like you're doing here right now. Wait a minute, stop. Because what people do is they get into this flow of conversation and they say a lot of what they want you to hear them saying, but you're good enough at what you do to go, wait a minute, stop. What I just heard you say was, so with that being said, I need you to not do this and start doing that. Well, that's not what the program says. Well, it doesn't matter what the program says. I'm dealing with you right now. So forget what you learned in the books, forget what is going on. Listen to what I'm telling you because of the experience that I've had in doing this with many people before you, doing it on myself, making myself the guinea pig, and understanding that there's no straight path to where you want to go. We need to be observant of where we're at on the path and make adjustments. One friend of ours used to say, we have the right to mid-course correct. We know who that was, and we need to be able to mid-course correct in our training protocol in order to get the most out of it for whatever date we're trying to land on, for whatever event we're trying to be ready for.
I hope you could listen without going to what your cup was filled with before this discussion. And again, it's a beautiful Bruce Lee quote, is that he can teach no man that their cup is full. And today, I do believe a downside, there's so much more benefit of social media than there is the downside. But one of the downsides would be the cup is too full. And so you've heard this, whatever the first 3 years of your life of health and fitness, and you watch these people and you heard these paper champions that have never competed, never been in the grind, never had any kind of trophies, never competed against others and had a relevant out course or been published or any of these levels, to where they just have their page and somebody listens to it. And unfortunately, that information is incorrect, or it's something their parents taught them. So the cup is too full. You're going to miss everything he just put out there. There's a thing called diminishing returns. And that's basically, if you're going 8 to 12 and you do it for the whole year, it's going to be less. If you're doing cardio January 1st, by December 31st, there's a huge diminishing returns. And so that's the change of all this stuff. I hope you guys listen to him. Go back, watch just that last 10 minutes of this, of just what Clark was saying. That was gold. That was gold. We're going to just rip that spot by itself and just put that up because it was just great information. Serge, do you have anything to add to that?
No, that was like on point. Can't top any of that.
Yeah, that's 40 years of experience being in there, writing books, being around the greatest. Like, when I mean greatest, I mean he's been around uncommon men within uncommon men, like Jack LaLanne, who is iconic. He's been around these guys that understood that Jack did it from his young age. You can go Google who Jack LaLanne is, but he did it until he was much older, twice our age. So there's a thing to this where I would like just to add that rep range really does leave. It does leave after your 20s and 30s because you learn how the body works for you and what your rep range is. But also there becomes a point of how much or how little can I do in the gym and still get better? How little can I do? And I don't know where, again, this goes back to your statement. Serge said something today, and he said on social media, you get these guys go, I'm a beast in the gym. I'm a savage. Every workout I go to fatigue. Every workout I'm a badass. Man, it's an amazing thing that we lost the understanding of the gym is about doing the least amount of work, but still get better. It's not about the guy that does the most work.
I'm a master at that. You know, people, there's a running joke in the gyms that I go to with people at the front desk. They see me come in and, you know, they have no idea what my resume looks like. And it doesn't really matter until this conversation comes up. So at some point they're like, oh, this guy has been in the fitness industry for a long time. You know how, you know, just people start talking and I'll leave. And they have this expectation because I am who I am and I've done what I've done and I've been on magazine covers and I still am to this day, that I'm in there just killing myself for 2 hours. And when I leave in 20 minutes, they're like, are you done already? And all I do is go, do I need to do more? And walk out. And they're like, is this the most arrogant person on the planet or has he figured something out? And the truth is a little bit of both. You know, it's something you said about the cup. One thing I do with most guys I work with is I help them unlearn what they fought so hard to learn for online. They're searching, they're Googling, they're anxious to get these answers to questions. And then they're filled up with keto, intermittent fasting, morning fasted cardio, all this stuff. I'm like, stop the insanity. I want to shave my head and become a woman and be Susan Powder and relive that 90s infomercial, which you remember. Stop the insanity. People, slow down. It's not that damn complicated, man. It's yeah, you got me fired up. This is like my third podcast today and interviews, and I'm fired up. I'm gonna go do something crazy.
No, I love it. You just got so much knowledge here and passion for it. So we're both on it. Serge, take us through the young culture of today and what they're learning from social media.
Ooh, yeah. Well, damn. There's a variety of things. It all depends on which route you're taking. Like, HIIT is a huge route. How people are marketing high intensity training as a way of getting bigger and leaner at the same time. Which
Do they say bigger?
Yeah, so like, well, they don't specifically say it, but they market you.
Do they say build muscle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, oh, build muscle, lose fat. Only 10 minutes of working out.
Right.
Okay, which is like, so you see this, but then the average Joe that sits on their couch all day thinks, oh, if I could just, I can get shredded in 10 minutes. So I could just do this for 10 minutes and hopefully these results come in. And then no results happen within the first 3 or 4 weeks. So then obviously
They're done.
yeah. Then you have people that are skinny fat that angle photos a certain way that makes them look shredded or big, and then they sell you their training, which is something they just copy and paste off of bodybuilding.com, and then think that that's going to be a way of
It's probably Mike's program.
yeah, honestly.
Bodybuilding.com.
So it's just like it's everyone trying to sell you a fake routine and selling you this dream that if you follow me and buy my program, then this is going to be the only way you can get my physique.
Sergio, that's a good point. Mike, let me say something real quick.
Go.
So this morning I got up like I normally do. I had a call with someone pitching me this morning on a sales protocol to sell my high ticket coaching. That's what I do now. And I wasn't going to take it, but for some reason I said, I'm going to listen to this guy. So he booked out an hour. I'm like, I'm not listening for an hour. He's got 15 minutes. And it really took me 5 seconds to realize that he was doing exactly what you just got done saying, Sergio. He presented me in a way that I could 100% see behind the curtain into the training he got to try and close me on this program that he was trying to sell me. And I'm sitting here like, does this guy not know that I know exactly what's happening right now? I know the sales pitch. I see the process. I know why you have these words highlighted in red. I know when you get to the close, you're going to stop and sit there and shut your mouth. So I want people to understand that you need to be aware of what you're being sold by whom it is trying to sell you. And that's what Serge just said. There are a lot of people out there perpetrating a fraud, copying, pasting Mike's program, bodybuilding.com programs, wherever they get it from, but they don't have the time in the trenches. They've never really worked with anyone. And I asked this guy at the end of his presentation, I said, why would you show me 7 case studies of 18-year-old trainers who don't have a resume, who are only making $10,000 a month with your program? You think I'm interested in hiring you to help me make $10,000 a month, bro? If it ain't $10,000 a day, I don't want to talk to you. So I'm sharing this with you because you need to understand that there are people out there trying to sell you a copy and pasted program that don't know any more than what they read off of that program themselves, and they're trying to position themselves as your coach. Drop mics everywhere. That's worth the freaking price of entry.
Look at him. Look at him. I like you fired up like this.
Gosh darn it.
I like it,
I
man.
think a good trainer should be able to explain to you what's happening before he tells you what to do. With that,
I see what you're saying. But I'm amazed on these kids that are out there today talking about training. They are articulate. They sound they're great. I listen to them. I go, that sounds beautiful, and I can see. Man, somebody sent me something the other day, and this freaking 16-year-old kid was talking about shoulder press and how you shouldn't do this and you should do this. And I'm sitting there going, wow, this kid's good looking. He's articulate and he spoke really well. Dumb as a brick on the information he gave, but everything else was great. And I'm sitting there going, if I was a novice, I would listen to this going, this makes sense. And it's a crazy thing thinking that he's 16 years old. It's like, this is where social media has led us to, where if you are articulate and you can talk and you can do it, you're sold, you're good. And that's a harsh reality of it. But listen, I've been always one to believe that if you have something that people like about you, go out there and do your thing, kid. That's a great thing. I don't think, and Clark, I think you'll agree with this. We have never been fans of the guy that could win but couldn't teach, or he could win but he was so genetically gifted and anything. He goes in, do you do biceps? I don't do biceps. My biceps are just like monstrous. Well, then you really can't teach the average Joe. And so we've never been fans of that. So there's the both sides. I want you to be able to articulate it, study it, apply it to yourself, make it work, and then apply it to people that are not genetic freaks, that are overweight, that do work a lot. Bryce, can you make somebody like Bryce in shape when he doesn't have the time, he doesn't have the genetics, and he works like a mad dog? So I'd love that whole aspect of that stuff.
He's a great student to have, though, too. Not everyone's going to put in the work that Bryce does.
Yeah.
But, you know, I understand what you're saying. I want everyone to go on YouTube and type in Johnny Bravo. All right. It's going to bring up a Brady Bunch episode for you that Greg Brady fit the jacket. And this is what Mike was referring to a minute ago with these young, good-looking trainers that have an Instagram platform that everybody's drawn to their abs and the perfect lighting. And I'm not taking away from any of their genetic potential or any of their desire to reach people. But what I'm saying is a lot of people are Johnny Bravo out there where they fit the jacket. So Greg Brady got famous not because he could sing, but because the production company was looking for someone to fit this rhinestone jacket.
You remember that? But wait a minute, Johnny Bravo was the cartoon,
Yeah.
and he's talking about the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Was the Brady Bunch in a cartoon with Johnny Bravo?
No, it wasn't Johnny Bravo. I'm sorry. It's
Brady Bunch.
Like
yeah. It wasn't Johnny. Okay, Google.
You can,
Brady Bunch.
But I see your point. The point was that he fit the mold, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it is Johnny Bravo. A rock music agent wants to sign Greg to become a rock star named Johnny Bravo. Greg lets his new fame get to his head. So go watch it.
All right.
It was Johnny Bravo. And it's because the jacket needed to fit the person, because that's all that mattered was the upfront image that was created by the jacket. It looked so cool. And they could make the voice sound as good as they wanted to in the background. So there was no talent there. So there's a lot of those harlequins in this industry.
So how do we solve it then?
But he knew.
We solve it by vetting people out. Like, look at someone's resume.
But how do you vet them out? Because, like I said, this 16-year-old, good looking, charming, had a 16-year-old body. But
well, look at their clients. Are they training 16-year-old kids who are going to naturally just get in shape because their freaking body is on fire?
16, right.
Or are they working with people who are the Bryces of the world, who don't have the genetic potential?
What can you do prior to that? Because you don't know their clientele. So what could you do prior to that?
One thing I learned in school was anytime you're reading a scientific article, a journal, anything, do your due diligence. Who wrote the article? Who funds the company?
Yep. Lobbying.
Do all that information, then read the article, and then you can make an informed decision based on those.
See, I think that's what. So what he was just talking about is something that nobody did on fasted cardio for years and years and years. Yeah. And then they go and find out who did they do the testing on? Well, it was bike riders. Okay, who was it? It was long distance. The 10-speed guys, bike riding. Well, that's who you did the testing on for fasted cardio and how beneficial it is. And then all those kind of studies were after the fact. It wasn't before. And so I think Jeffrey's point there too, it's like any of the research is what was the research done on? What was the age group that it was done on? What were they, even like they do these tests today, like, oh, we did test with creatine. Well, who'd you do it on? What was it? What was the demographic? What was the age? So I agree with that. But that's tough to do on social media. Yeah. Again, I'm saying, because I'm going to give these guys a benefit. If you sell me a good pitch, wow, man, I'm not looking at your fan base. I'm stuck. I like you.
It's just like reading an article.
Yeah.
Or reading a magazine.
The article is written well enough.
It's written well.
You believe it.
That is the truth. I don't care if it's the Washington Post. I don't care who owns the Washington Post. And I don't care who's funding them.
Yeah.
Because I'm hooked on that article now, and I believe it.
Too many people.
So who's fake news out there? That's what we're trying to get to the bottom.
It's all about the fake news.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing.
I can tell you is this: when I talk to people, I let myself off the hook by saying, "Look, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and I'm not pretending I know everything about the human body or how to get you to where you need to go. What I do know is something you alluded to earlier, Mike, about nutrition, and then you said, but mindset. I'm a big mindset guy, and I can help people undo pre-programmed beliefs that have them thinking that something is not possible, specifically as it relates to their physique goals. Everyone has the ability to improve. What the manifestation on the other end is, how they look aesthetically, is a completely different story. And I can't change that. But what I can change is the belief, it's the process, it's the boundaries that we create around it, it's the sustainability part of it. It's really being understanding that regardless of your human condition, it's possible to change it today. And whatever's going to happen will be determined by how long you're willing to commit to a process.
There we go. Man, Clarky, thanks for doing this today. I know that we got into that discussion about rep range, and just to answer the question about what we believe in rep range, guys, we'll go deeper into that solely position at a later time. But I think you guys just got a incredible cup emptying moment, where you're going to start with a clean slate. We're all going to do our check-ins this weekend. We're going to start this next process of just staying focused for the week. And let's see what kind of benefit we can get from this week of training and pushing ourselves a little harder.
It's plain and simple. Hey, you should get on my Zoom call tomorrow, Mike. I've got, the movie The Rookie?
The Rookie was the police officer?
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid,
baseball, the guy that came in late in life.
He was a school teacher and a coach, a baseball coach. And from what I understand, the true story.
Yep.
And he did not, or he tried out for the majors again after this time. And he was a 30-year-old rookie. Is that correct?
Yes, or even old. I don't know his exact age, but he's speaking on my Zoom call tomorrow. So we're going to hear the story. We're going to hear it from the actual person tomorrow on my Zoom call. So
I will be there. Can you let us all know this time of the Zoom call?
It happens at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Saturday. I do.
Somebody
great
is not
great
part
guest.
of your crew. How would they be able to watch the Zoom call?
I'll send you a link for your crew, because your crew and my crew are crews, and which, by the way, your crew, the immediate crew, Sergio and Jeff there, missed my guy that I flew in from North Carolina to do a brainstorm session with. I wanted to, do a little West Side Story dance-off fight in Gold's Gym, but nobody showed up. So I was by myself out there.
Wait, don't do it. They don't know about this. Walk out. I followed him on social media today. Nice kid.
Yeah.
A little Mark Wahlberg looking guy.
He was a state champion wrestler, so I wanted to get him and Jeffy to just, go for it.
Done. Jeff will sit on him. 120 pounds is still 120 pounds.
Exactly.
Thank you for sending us the link, guys. I'll Titan Crew members, I will put that link up over there in the Titan Crew, so you guys could watch this. I think this is a great thing because it shows, and from the little I know of the true story of this gentleman. He was a school teacher that obviously played baseball at one time, but had been away from it for quite a while, and was a coach and tried out again. And he actually made it into the majors in baseball as a pitcher, not a player, but this guy was a pitcher. So it's pretty impressive. So much so that Dennis Quaid played him in Hollywood in a big time movie.
Yep. So we'll find out how much Hollywood embellishes on these true stories turned into Hollywood films. So I'm really anxious to ask that question to him tomorrow.
I wouldn't mind Dennis Quaid playing me.
I know.
Jeez Louise.
I'll play you someday in a movie.
There you go. I like that. You're
Just
playing
have-
Tom Cruise, man. That's who
Sure.
you're playing. All right, Playboy. Have a good day today.
All right,
Put
gentlemen.
some pants on.
Swaggy-o. I'm naked underneath.
I know you are. Man, gold. Clark Bartram, gold. Every time that man is on, absolute phenomenon. And again, we met because we competed against each other back for Mr. California back in the late 80s. He did not like me at first. And now he's my guy. No, because I walked in backstage. I walked down to the exit. I always pumped up away from the backstage area. And so I went back and went down into the stairwell of the exit, so nobody could see me. I always did that.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if when Mr. California or Mr. Universe, all those shows, I'd find a spot that nobody would use, and I didn't need any spaces and stuff. And I always liked the stairwells because nobody looks down there. Also, I could put my feet up to do push-ups in an angle, some dips, and the main thing is just be alone. And Clark was competing for Mr. California, and so was I. But I came in did that. He didn't like how I warmed up and did that and I won the show, and he's pissed, and became best friends after that. So that's how me and Clark met. Most of the guys I know is because like CT Fletcher, same thing. Yeah, CT's you guys can go see the video about CT talking about when I was coming out for the Mr. California in powerlifting, and his famous statement was blank Mike O'Hearn. And then I came in and I won best lifter, and he said,
Right.
damn, that boy can come in, outlift you and take your girl. So
Right.
friends, I think that old school mentality is when you grind heads with somebody or compete against somebody and you put up a good battle. It didn't mean that I had to win, but you put up a good battle. I think you get respect and build some lifetime bonds in that situation.
That's why boys fight about anything. They get in a fist fight. They're totally cool after.
There's too many snowflakes now.
Girls will get in a fight.
It's catty.
Done for life.
Done.
Done for life.
Guys, I'm excited about this check-in this week because this, I think, is the third check-in. And I think a lot of you are on point. Again, if you are not on the 6-week shreds, you can get on it now. But I do recommend getting on it today. Jeffrey, you put that link up there for these guys. Get on this plan now so we can make sure that we get your check-ins. Again, the great thing about me and the team here is not only do we give you the plan and everything that you start, I'm going to fine tune that stuff to the pinpoint for what is best for you. Well, I don't understand this. Boom.
How do you avoid injuries while training heavy? How do you avoid injuries when training heavy?
Oh,
Go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I Jeff, anything?
Yeah. You have things you can control and then you have things you can't. So do your best to maximize the things you can control so that you can minimize the effects of things that you can't.
Yeah, I think that's such a I don't want to say odd question.
Yeah.
Obviously, anything, and I've said this a million times, nauseously, that injuries are injuries. It happens. It's an accident. But train smart, recover. Like me and Serge were talking about earlier, be in a good rep range to where you're doing what you need to do. Check your ego at the door.
You can control all that.
That's stuff you can control. Now, can I say that you can go through your entire career not getting injured? No, I can't say that. I hope nobody gets injured, but be smart. Like the one guy earlier, Kevin, said he goes heavy to a PR every workout. Now, see, that's you're asking for trouble.
That's a one-way ticket to Snap City.
Yeah, that's just not. You're just. I don't know what that is. Honestly, I don't know what that is because I never saw that. But the best you can, man. Just stay smart. Stay on the training plan. Do the right form. Heal, recover, go back in, do it again.
well, don't do that again. Do it.
Oh, here's a good one for Serge.
What do you got?
Go. Read it, Sergi.
To get the most of a pre-workout, what are the important chemical substances that we should intake? Is Big Boy's pre-workout good? Or Gorilla, which Larry Wheels and Joe is promoting?
Ooh. I don't know if the answer he wants is how much caffeine a pre-workout should have, because most people base their purchase of a pre-workout solely on how much caffeination it gets.
How much caffeine or how much they're just shaking?
Yeah, because they think that if that's hitting me as hard as it is, then it's working. So I think non-stimulant pre-workouts are very underrated in the industry now, because everything is marketed on caffeine intake and like, oh, this is gonna crack you out. Excuse me, this is gonna crack you out. So because it has 600 milligrams of caffeine, so it's gonna work. And
I got a question for you, because I believe in the non-stim, but I also understand that kids like loud music. Kids like the headsets. Kids like to and scream and yell and stuff. So I came from that same culture when I was a kid. I mean, we had rock and roll music. It was loud. We sniffed ammonia.
Yeah.
It was like we get slapped in the face. So I understand that. But now I'm an old cat and I don't want to go in feeling like my heart's going to come out of my chest.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think you got a great point too, where I guess it depends on your age and stuff. And if you want to feel cracked out or not feel cracked out. I like my non-stim, but we are doing one called Extreme X with stim in it, some caffeine to get you fired up. But I just recommend trying different ones. You know, it's always just try different ones.
Just try it.
Yeah.
See if you like it. You like Big Boys? Awesome. Take it. Stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry's great.
I don't know Larry's. I tried Big
Yeah.
Boys when I trained with Big Boy. It was a little too much for me. Got me a little outside. You know what? It got me outside of my game. You know, it's like when you guys understand, like when you're in a fight and you're done with a fight and you're just sitting there afterwards and you're like, oh, so it's that moment. Just too much for me.
Yeah, that's how Rich's was when I took it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had like 500 milligrams per
That thing
scoop.
was cracked out. I like
Back then,
Yeah, it was.
wow, that was ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was pretty nutty.
Jack 3D has always been the best.
That's different.
Jack, the original.
That's the forbidden scoop.
Yeah.
Jack Owak?
No.
Jack. It's
Jack.
Jack.
Jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the.
That was meth. That was crystal meth.
But yeah. Pre-workouts for the pump, so why?
The pump formula is the best.
Yeah.
You got that pump?
It's right there behind me.
Give me a little pump. Give him a little pump. Show him that sex.
Whoa. This is one that you can get at Walmart, and you get a free shirt if you do that. Also, guys.
Speaking about shirts.
Hey man, check that out. That's clean.
Mm.
Tim, I know you're watching. Tim,
Is this up yet?
It can be.
Okay, this will go up.
You guys want it? Let me know.
This will go up today. I will go get some pics, and we will do this
Oh, yeah,
today.
let's get a shot.
Yeah, I will get this up for you guys. Kev, you are back. What's happening, man? Oh shoot, I am way behind you guys. I'm way up at the top here. Sorry. Let me get way down here. Kev, hopefully you understood today's discussion, my man. Again, we're not attacking you at all. I just want you to be safe.
That's right. And it's,
I do use cinnamon. Yeah.
things just have to be said. You know, like you have a lot of knowledge in your head that you're not withholding. It just hasn't come up in conversation.
I think today, like there was two discussions that I just didn't even think about. Yeah. The spotting of a powerlifting and bodybuilding in the mix of those two, and somebody trying to do a set that's bodybuilding, but with a powerlifting mentality of what the exercise is for. So I never even thought about that in that aspect. So yeah, I see.
So it's good to just clear some of the noise that's out there on social media. And there's a lot of it.
And again, hopefully you guys understand when we were talking about social media today and the guys out there. I think those kids are it's an incredible thing. So when I grew up, we called it getting on tape, putting yourself on tape, get in front of the camera, put yourself on tape, and that way you get comfortable with being on camera. And so when you go for an audition, you're not freaked out. And really, when it comes down to acting, at the end of the day, they'll finally tell you at the end of that tunnel that it's just being comfortable on camera and being able to talk and communicate. And I think the great thing about social media and the phones today is these kids, by such early ages, are doing their selfies and they're talking and they're very comfortable in the way they speak and how they portray themselves, portray themselves. And so I think it's a great thing. I just think also they're becoming salesmen on a phony aspect. It's like, we've seen this. Now, see, you've been in Venice for a while. And so for you guys out there, you don't know this, but there's guys that, I always said this about Rich. Rich is who you saw he was. He wasn't a character. He was a very sincere, very kind person. When we were trained together at Gold's at 4 a.m, first thing he would do before saying hi to me, he'd get down on the floor with Stryker, play around with Stryker. You know, that's who he was. And then you guys saw that and you picked up on the honesty of that, but he was an older guy. But these kids today, I think, are trying to portray what's cool. Hey, this is my character. This is who I am. I'm going to play the cowboy in this movie. So that's who, but that's in the same sense as what I'm saying on social media. We've seen this. Now you've seen this. You've been at Golds long enough to see, okay, these guys are playing who they are, and this is who they really are.
Exactly. It's a complete different person. It's like they're acting in a sense. It's just some people are like very comedic or very energetic on social media, and then they look like almost dead inside when you see it in person.
Shit, I've seen those.
Yeah, the gym. It's like they can't hold a conversation. They can't like. That doesn't look like they care to either. But then once that camera turns on, it's like they can flip the switch of changing. Like they channel in another person.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's irrelevant to the discussion today, guys, but I just want you guys to be on point.
Stay
Do your thing. Stay who we are. Lucky thing for me, again, I couldn't fake this. I've been in the magazines and on TV since the late 80s. So who I am is who I am.
It's before the flat screen.
Before flat screens, before social media, before Photoshop, some covers. So we've been doing this for a while. But you got, I'm teaching all this stuff to these guys, and they're picking up on it. And so we got a good team here for you guys. I'm excited about check-ins again. It's going to go Saturday and Sunday. It will end again 8 o'clock Monday morning. All right. We'll start kicking it in 8 o'clock Monday after the workout. So you guys will have your answers. I'll try to get to them on Sunday, for sure Monday morning at 8 o'clock to answer your guys' questions on check-ins. Everybody that's starting the 6-week shred, everybody that's doing the 6-week shred, you are checking in. I think this week is off for power bodybuilding, for strength gains, for pro secrets. I think you guys got
a couple of you guys that Mike told you to check in.
So keep that on track. Let's have fun with this. And we are finishing up Form Friday. What time did we say we were done?
2, but Serge didn't post it in the title.
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Oh,
I did. Yesterday, I was going to call you and ask you, did it go over? And it didn't. We are going to go finish. You have 1 hour.
Ooh, one.
Oh yeah, we said 2.
Put your lifts up right now on the Form Friday so I can check your form. Make sure you're doing it right. This is Kevin. Kevin, if you're still here, this is a great spot for you to show me your exercises that you're doing and why you're getting hurt. I'll be able to see, possibly, I'll be able to see why you're getting hurt and why you're getting hurt on this stuff. All right, man, what a gold conversation we had today, man. I appreciate you guys' time. You ain't hitting that shot.
Finishing up on?
You hit that.
There's those big arms.
Oh.
Those big arms. Damn.